Story is about a boy, Michael, who grew up in the 60s and had a regular, everyday life. He went to church with his mother on Sundays, got dressed up, and went to school every day, Catholic school. Vernon Road, it was St. Raymond's was the name of the school. And all the kids in the neighborhood, everybody had 3 kids. It seemed like 3 to 4 kids around the same age groups. And it was a nice neighborhood. This was a part of Germantown that was middle of the road. We were a middle class family. And by around 7 or 8, a guy had moved in the neighborhood who was a tough kid. And he was just used by somebody. This David Cornetti used the guy to beat everybody up. And I heard about him and I seen him. He was a tough kid. He was a strong kid from Lancaster. Their mother had died. And they moved to Philadelphia. And he worked for Acme. He was a meat guy, so they'd be home all day, the kids by themselves. And I never got to talk to him. And he came over and was fighting with my neighbor next door, Jeffrey, and had beat him up. And again, Cornetti was behind it. This David Cornetti was the instigator. And I seen the kid fight, and he could fight, and the other guy didn't really fight back, but I didn't like him at first because I thought that it was his idea, but I realized it was David Cornetti behind it, who later on, I'll tell you about, and a year later got me in the same type of fight. Because I was coming home one day from school in my little school bag, and we were having a snowball fight. I guess it was around 68, 69, somewhere around there. And I started, my brothers all hung part-time down the Vernon Road gang. Everyone knew him. Hardy was a drummer, so he got respect out of being a musician. And Frank was tested and got in a few fights. My older brother Frankie was tested a few times, and he protected himself pretty good. And actually beat up one of the tougher guys, some guy Kerper, and he fought a few other kids. And he earned his respect by himself. So I was just Skitty. My name, they started calling me Skitty for Scout Tritos short, and I would go down and hang down Vernon Road as much as I could. I was admired the kids with the gang fights, and we knew who was who. They were like soldiers. Actually, when the gang fights, I was such a little kid, I was always running. They wouldn't let me stack weapons, though. And every time the black kids would come, I mean, they were black. I was little. I have dreams of running. They would come from Martin Luther King, Leeds, the schools that surrounded us, Edmonds, all the public schools would come after us on our holidays. We go after them on their holidays. Frank Rizzo was a police officer at the time, and he was the police chief. We happened to grow up across from Temple Stadium, so I got to go in all the games. I guess I was around 7 or 8, heading towards 9. I thought I was older, so now I had my leather jacket and my, you had everybody wanted the leather jacket look, and you had to have the army boots. So I had an old pair of army boots, and there was a guy, Peter Saris, who would take care of one of the guys, Beaver, that used to hang with me because he was a poor kid and didn't have anything. But I was jealous because they used to give him their leather jacket before I had one. Because my brothers actually didn't hang in the gang, but they were respected because they had their place in the gang. When things got bad, everyone was called. The adults, everybody would come out of their houses. I was fighting one time. I finally got my baseball bat. I gave all the bats out to everybody, and I wanted to keep one for myself in case, they got close. And the one guy was screaming, "Give me the bat," George Saris. And as he was pulling it from me, I wouldn't give it to him. It was the last baseball bat left. And I wanted something for my protection. Once they overthrow, or once in a while they would come and force us out of Vernon Road, we had to scatter and then take back our positions later on. We actually had little troops stashed in all the different steps, in different areas. As they came down, we would approach them and throw bottles and Molotov cocktails and that type of thing, and to keep them back. And keep in mind, while we're throwing bricks and all this, I'm not even 9 years old yet. And so basically, I was just a regular Catholic school kid coming home from school, and then you put your stuff on and your regular Converse sneakers, and you go out and hang in the streets. So my mother would allow us to do it because she didn't know really we were out in the front. We were running around. We all go down Vernon Road.